Hi, welcome back, where every week I get into the markets for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Dominance, ETH BTC ratio, SPX 500 and the DXY. Take a look at the markets and the charts. Please leave a like, subscribe, and if you leave a comment, I'll personally reply to you to say thanks for watching. So let's get into the charts. We got Bitcoin on the monthly, and I was looking at this this month here, December, because it was in a range. It was kind of just in between this December candle, and now we've broken out of that. So for the monthly, I'm looking at this range here, and we'll see on the weekly how it broke below this and has closed below. Now we've gotten down to the 50% of this monthly range, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. You know, it's a monthly range, so things take time. But as we've closed below last month, in my books, the way I define it is that we've broken market structure to the downside on the monthly. So the monthly is bearish. I include the wicks in my order blocks, and when something closes below it, that tells me we're now bearish. Go down to the weekly and take a look at that. The weekly, we can see that we were in this tighter weekly range that I had marked out here. You know, between here, this was a mid-range, this was the bottom part of that range, and now we've broken out of that. We've come down, and this is the overall monthly range that I just marked out, and like I say, we've topped the 50% of that. So we go down to the daily, and what do we have here? What I've got marked out is a daily order block, and this is a bullish order block. This is the red down candle that caused an up move which broke market structure here, right? And look at every time price has come down into this order block, it's had a reaction once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and the more an area gets tested, the less likely it is to hold. It's finally broken through this order block. So this bullish order block has now become a breaker because market structure has broken it here. So what I'm looking for now is to see if when price comes up into this area, is there a reaction and will it trend lower? Because quite often when you have an order block that gets broken, price can come back and test the underside, and that's usually a short, right? So what I'm going to look for is some price action to come up in here, and we'll see what happens. And if it starts getting bearish and breaks below here again, then I'll short it down here. And this is an area I've also marked as of interest. So one possible scenario is price comes up into here and comes down into this demand zone, and this is what I have marked out as I'll show you here. It's a daily bearish order block. So it's the up candle that caused the down move that broke market structure. Price has come into it, and every time it hits it, it reacts. And look at how close it gets to the 50% of the order block. That's a level I always mark out, right? So it's tapped it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then if we go over here, price tapped it again and then broke through. Just like this one, if price comes back in here and we look for price action, the market structure is broken, and we look for a retest and then trend lower. Well, if price comes into here, I'm going to be looking to see what it does. And if it starts bouncing around and we get some bullish market structure in the low time frames, I might look at a long to get back up maybe above the 50%. And so this is being on the daily. If we look at this range here, this is the monthly range I marked out, and so we go down to we mark out the sweet spot. Like I mentioned in my other videos, look at all this market structure down here. Price in this monthly range could come down into this area and still be bullish. You know, it's possible that we have a high, a low, a higher high. Could we get some sort of higher low down here before a price push up into that area? We'll have to wait and see. But those are kind of the spots I'm kind of looking for to maybe take some trades in. And I know it's like, well, people say up or down, bro. Well, you know what? You got to have a plan for both scenarios. So that's kind of my plan. Now, if we go over to Ethereum, we can see that there's this trend line we had marked out for the past while. It's just been going up and kind of a wedging triangle. And on the monthly, we've broken through this trend line now, and we're going to see what happens. So we're in this monthly range with the high being here, the bottom here. We've come down below the 50%, right down to the bottom of the range. And now we're waiting to see what happens. If price maybe dips below, gets back above, and closes within this range, I'll be looking to possible longs up to the mid-range. And then same thing here, right? If we can get through the mid-range, we get to the top of the range, see what happens. Alternatively, this could go down even a little further. Also, I'm also taking into consideration this monthly order block here. So this is a bullish order block on the monthly. It's a down candle that caused the up move that broke market structure here. Price is very close to this. So on the weekly, we've tapped these lows, you know, once, twice, 3 times. And the more a level gets tapped, the more it's likely to get broken. Down on the daily, we can see this trend line's been broken. Maybe we get a retest of the trend line and back down, although I don't trade trend lines, but it would be nice to see ETH get back above this, because I think if we get up to this level here, it's been the range high for quite some time. I think if ETH gets back up here, I think it goes past, takes out all the stops above here and continues. But for now, we just take it kind of level by level. So yeah, just watching what price does around here actually, because we're at the range low. And if we start getting some bullish market structure, maybe we push back up to the mid-level and beyond. Down to the 1 hour, we can see the range low where we're at, and we can notice this level that we marked out and we were watching. Remember when price was down here, we were taking a long, and I was considering what's good, all these stops that were above here. Well, took the long, price came up, swept that level, took out all this liquidity, and reversed down right to the bottom of the range. So all these stops that were up here, we're just waiting for big players to come and take them. Not only was it all the stops for the people that went short, it was when price came up here, I guarantee there was people putting buy orders, breakout traders that thought price would go higher. But that didn't happen. They just took out the liquidity and used it as ammunition to push price lower, which they've done. So now, like I say, we're at the bottom of the range, and we'll have to just kind of wait and see what price does here. Now we're on the monthly for Bitcoin Dominance, and we've got this bearish order block that we have marked out here, and price is taken forever, but it's come slowly up. It's tagged this level, and I was watching on the monthly to see if there'd be an SFP, and it turns out there was. Right, price closed lower than the highest point of that candle wick. The body of the candle closed lower than the top of this wick, creating an SFP. Confirmed if this candle also closes lower, but for now it's looking like hard to tell. It's the monthly. Go down to the weekly, you see this monthly SFP level. SFP again, another one here. There's a day left on this weekly candle, so it's looking potentially bearish, like maybe the dominance is capped or close to capped. I mean, it was on this uptrend, and now it's kind of seems to be kind of leveling out a little bit, although we're still bullish on the weekly. We're not going to be bearish on the weekly until a close below here. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now here we are on ETH BTC, which is basically the inverse of the Bitcoin Dominance chart. This one's been going down while Bitcoin Dominance has been going up. And again, here's a monthly order block, just like on Bitcoin Dominance, where ETH BTC has tapped into. We've got a sweep of the area, and now we'll have to wait and see what happens. Here's that area on the weekly, and we can see this monthly order block, the 50% of this order block is right here, and that's where the weekly's tapped into. So we'll see if it starts SFPing, and if the weekly closes above this level here, that would be bullish. I mean, it's not likely to do it this week. There's only 22 hours left. Go down to the daily, and it's just kind of, it's going down. I mean, it's not looking bullish on the daily, unless maybe we get a sweep here on this level down here and start getting a few bullish daily candles. Maybe, like I say, if we close over here, that'll be a weekly close and it'll be bullish on the weekly. But for now, it's still on this trajectory of going down. Who knows, maybe retrace some of this candle and then slowly reverse and get bullish. Over to the S&P, and we've got this range, this monthly range right here that we've been trading in. We see it on the weekly, just between this range, right? So could have shorted at the highs, longed at the lows, shorted at the highs, and now we're pushing down again. If we get down past this range and have like a retest or something, and then we go lower, that's not looking good for the S&P. Alternatively, if we find some bullish market structure here and push up to the mid-range, then you could target the range highs and potentially look for a breakout, clearing out all these stops here. So we'll take a look at the dollar now. This is a US dollar on the monthly DXY, and we've got this monthly range that we've been in for quite some time. Since 2022, we've just been ranging within this monthly market structure. We broke out of the range on the monthly and got into this bearish order block, and we've kind of pushed back into this range, and we're just around a range high. And if we look on the weekly, we've actually closed back within the range, and we're testing the range highs again. And we get a better picture of this on the daily. The daily's been in a downtrend, and now we've kind of come up. We're into this bearish order block here. If price rejects off this, gets back into the range and closes, starts continuing with this bearish momentum, it'll likely go down to the mid-range and possibly the range low again. But we'll have to wait and see. If it does, this is inversely correlated with Bitcoin. So if there's weakness on the dollar, that's good for risk on assets like Bitcoin and S&P. And so, you know, we've got this range high here, and like I mentioned, got this deviation so far. So if we close back under this range with bearish daily candles and it keeps on going downwards, that would confirm that this is just kind of an overthrow on the range high. And like I say, back in the range, we look to target the mid-range, see what happens, and potentially the range low. And there's lots of stops under here that potentially big market money makers want to come down and take out or use as buy orders to push price back up. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that's it for this week. We'll see you again next week. In the meantime, watch out for other videos. I'm going to put one out on breaker blocks and kind of how they work, how I use them in trading within these ranges and in conjunction with order blocks and other things of confluence like fair value gaps. So I'll get into that. I'm going to work on a video of that. This is a new YouTube channel. My videos are going to get better and better as time goes on, but appreciate you watching, and thank you for supporting me. And like I said, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And my plan is to continue producing content that's going to teach people how to trade better. Thank you. Until next time, take care. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and notifications as well for your next videos.